Taylor Swift has been making headlines for like a month now, and in that time we've learned some pretty juicy secrets that we gotta share. Number 10, do not come. As many may know, in the past couple of weeks, Taylor has been spotted at more and more Chief games, cheering on the Kansas City Chiefs alongside Travis Kelce's mama, who you would think an enthusiastic and energetic crowd member would be a nice addition to the game and welcomed by the players. Well, apparently not Taylor. In the last couple of weeks, a trend has been flooding the internet of people trolling their boyfriends by claiming that Taylor Swift made Travis famous. On top of the annoying amount of content based around that, Taylor has been seen regularly attending the games with a lot of attention being put on her instead of the actual game. You know, cameras zoom in, fans cheer for her instead of the players, but the team seems to be turning this into a motivational thing as they have won every single game that she's attended so far, which is why several football players for the Philadelphia Eagles have started begging Taylor to sit out their game versus the Chiefs. One player, Eagles quarterback Darius Slay, mentioned Taylor during an episode of his podcast, Darius's Big Play, and jokingly told Taylor not to be present when they visited the Chiefs on their home turf. It seems that Taylor is their good luck charm and everybody knows it. Their next game is scheduled for October 9th, going up against the Minnesota Vikings, so fingers crossed she comes to that game and keeps this streak going. Number 9, mama drama. Throughout a ton of this Travis and Taylor drama, there's been one woman by her side through most of it, and that is Travis's mom, Donna. Donna was recently interviewed by the podcast Got It From My Mama and explained that spending time with Taylor Swift has felt like being in an alternate universe. She was mostly just surprised and excited by all the hype surrounding her son and his possible new relationship with Taylor. Every week the hype gets bigger and bigger, but what Donna doesn't remember is that Taylor has a long history of chilling with her boo's mamas. In the past, she's been seen living it up with Joe Alwyn's mom, who she was with for over 6 years. She spent a ton of time with Joe Jonas's mom, even though their relationship was pretty short, so if anything, Donna should be nervous. The more time this woman spends with you, the more likely it'll be that she breaks your son's heart and then writes a song about it. Chief of My Heart, Kansas City Chameleon, You Suck! Those are just some of the titles, just some ideas for Taylor in case that actually does happen. Number 8, running for president. Now, this entry is a little bit recent and it just popped up in the news cycle. It hasn't been confirmed as really happening yet, but is pretty neat and I thought we should talk about it. The United States may still be a year away from electing a new president. Sure, Joe Biden might get another term and serve a full 8 years, but not if Taylor Swift has anything to say about it. The former director of strategic communications for the White House, Elisa Griffin, was speaking with The View Behind the Table, which is a podcast, when the topic of Taylor Swift and Travis came up. Now, Elisa was pretty excited to talk about the situation with them, but then shared some information on Taylor regarding political stuff. She claimed that if the country wanted to see Donald Trump stay out of the office, that the only smart move may be to throw Taylor's name into the running. As pointed out by several of my co-workers, Swifties make up like over 50% of the country, so the moment that her name appears on the ballot, she'd win in a landslide. People who've never voted in their lives would register just to get her into the office. Now that's when the fun begins. Personally, I have no political views, but the idea of Taylor Swift becoming the president of the United States, for some reason it just doesn't feel that far-fetched. Number 7, restaurateur. Over the last few days, the rumors that Taylor Swift is dating Kansas Chief tight end Travis Kelce have been running rampant, and they were actually spotted attending a Chiefs game, and of course she was spotted attending a few Chiefs games with Travis's mother and leaving the events with Travis. But those rumors were cemented as true and that they probably are a couple when Taylor decided to buy out and clear an entire restaurant for the day, while people were still eating their meals. According to several patrons of an unnamed establishment, they were happily eating their meals when they noticed that the waiters started slowly making their way around the room. When they approached the table, they were informed that their meal was paid for, but they would have to leave right then, right now. The patrons left, and when they returned later on, filled with curiosity, they discovered that it was Taylor Swift who kicked them out. Getting your meal paid for by a stranger sounds cool, but imagine how awkward that scenario is. Hi there, your meal's paid for, now get out please, just leave. Listen, I don't care who you are, if you wanted to have so much privacy, maybe just go home and order Popeyes, Uber Eats, anything else. Number 6, party hardy. Taylor has a ton of A-list buddies that she spends her time with, but one woman who's been making headlines alongside Taylor has been Sophie Turner. Sophie, of course, is going through a very public divorce with one of Taylor's ex-boyfriends, Joe Jonas. The two of them are currently in a pretty public battle for the rights to their kids, and the divorce has brought several things to light that has caused the courts to force Joe and Sophie to do couples counseling while they try to figure figure out how to properly handle the situation. But instead of attending the classes and trying to keep her family together, it seems like Sophie has been out and about partying with Taylor Swift. Taylor is a terrible influence and has been living it up with Sophie for the past couple of weeks, apparently keeping each other occupied while Joe goes into a downward spiral. Sophie has accused Joe of a lot of stuff during this whole thing, and Taylor has just been standing there telling her that everything's fine and she's doing the right thing. Number 5, the profiter of pain. If there's one thing that Taylor Swift is famous for, it's taking tragedy and turning it into triumph. Her career is basically just built on the backbone of her broken relationships. Men like Harry Styles, Tom Hiddleston, and many more are set to be the inspiration for some honestly catchy songs. You can hate on her all you want, but I'll still be dancing to Shake It Off every time it plays. Just because the songs are good though doesn't always mean that the person who's inspired them is going to enjoy them. While some of her exes like Joe Alwyn have been pretty supportive when it comes to Taylor's writing, other people like Tom Hiddleston have not been so stoked. Taylor is clearly a sour topic for a lot of people. Even the happy-go-lucky Jake Gyllenhaal would rather not talk about his time with Taylor, and honestly we can't blame him. Imagine the worst breakup you've ever gone through in your entire life, and now imagine that it was a top 10 on Spotify. Your soul would be crushed. Number 4, Travis Kelce. This is the most recent entry to Taylor's library of possible partners. Travis Kelce is a football player for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Taylor was spotted attending one of his games a few weeks ago. So there was nothing out of the ordinary there, but then there was more. Taylor got spotted attending the event with his mom, literally sitting arm in arm together the entire night, and they've done that a couple of times now. Taylor was then photographed cheering him on from the sidelines, his mother just as excited as she was, and if that wasn't enough, they were later photographed walking out of the stadium together arm in arm. Now, this dude's been on podcasts talking about how he can't say much and not really specifying if he is or is not with Taylor. Only people hiding something say that, okay? As the weeks go by, we're gonna get more and more proof that this dude is dating Taylor, but for now, it's still just speculation. Number 3, transportation. There was a massive theory going around the internet as Taylor started her Eras tour, and people were wondering how it was possible for her to get around venues when there were crazed fans literally around every single corner. And not to mention, in order to get to the stage of most outdoor venues, you have to be exposed to the public even for the briefest of moments. But there was one common theme at all of her shows. The event staff were always seen pushing this tall janitor's cart back and forth before the show would begin. Now, the first red flag was the people pushing this thing had earbuds in their heads and they were wearing black t-shirts, not exactly janitor clothes, and eventually a fan was able to get the right angle and capture a moment when Taylor stepped out of the cart backstage. Not only did this confirm the rumor, but Taylor's secret vehicle had been outed to the world. Now, I'm not going to be attending the concert because I'm not that rich, but for those of you who are attending, keep an eye out for 2 people in black t-shirts pushing a random coffin around or something down the halls. Number 2, the Master. If you've ever purchased a ticket for something online, then you're probably no stranger to Ticketmaster. It's one of the most popular ticket purchasing programs on the planet. When it was announced in 2022 that Taylor would be doing this whole Eras World Tour thing, the ticket sales were insane. So insane that she single-handedly took that website down. Well, her fans did. So after the pre-sales went up for the Eras Tour, an astonishing 2.5 million Swifties got into their virtual queues and started ordering tickets. 2.5 million people is a ton of online foot traffic. Think about all those people going in at once to buy their tickets. 2.5 million people! Yeah, so the website glitched and millions of fans were unable to find or purchase their tickets. The glitch was eventually fixed and Ticketmaster took away one of the options for general tickets until the majority of the pre-sales had been gone. Now, Taylor wasn't directly responsible, but following the news, she said nothing except, oops, I didn't know, that's my bad. Yeah, she didn't care one single bit. She was just glad that her bank account was nice and full. Number 1, she can't swim. Taylor Swift knows how to put on a good show, okay? And this next entry just proves that sentence. During one of her first shows of the Era Tour in Glendale, Arizona, Taylor stood in front of her fans as a small hole opened up in the stage. She jumped in and a masterpiece in LED technology started to play. She jumped in and waves flowed across the stage as a bird's eye view showed her swimming from one end of the stage to the other. Granted, it's definitely not Taylor and it's just a projected image, but that's still neat, you know? That's why I said that she can't swim, because she's not swimming, get it? The sequence ended with a large wave hitting the back of the stage, with Taylor appearing underneath a cloud in a new outfit as the waves vanished. Thankfully, it worked out on stage, as it was reported that during the rehearsals for the show, Taylor actually missed her mark a couple of times and belly flopped into the pool, which would have made for a pretty different show.
First off, we have Shake It Off, and it involved a lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed by Sean Hall and Nathan Butler, the songwriters behind Playas Gonna Play, a 2000 song by the R&B group 3LW that contains the lines "Playas they gonna play" and "Haters they gonna hate." They accused Swift of using those lines without permission or credit on Shake It Off, which was released in 2014 and became one of Swift's defining hits, notching 4 weeks at #1 on the Billboard singles chart. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed, and Taylor stated, "I have never heard the song Playas Gonna Play and have never heard of that song or the group 3LW," she said in the court filing. Getaway Car is another song that people are accusing Swift of stealing, and it involves another famous celebrity, Hilary Duff. Hilary, known for her hit Disney Channel show Lizzie McGuire, also had a successful music career after her departure from Disney Channel, and she has been going viral on the internet lately for her iconic performances on talk shows, but that's besides the point. Hilary put out a single called Breathe In, Breathe Out, and the song includes lyrics such as "X marks the spot where we fall in love." Sound familiar? Taylor Swift's Getaway Car has almost identical lyrics. "X marks the spot where we fell apart." Fans were quick to notice the similarities and express their disappointment with the singer, one user saying on Twitter, "Don't get me wrong, I love Taylor, but the second I heard that, I immediately thought of Hilary. Honestly, a bit disappointed." Another user wrote, "Really, Taylor? You're gonna rip off Hilary Duff's Breathe In, Breathe Out on Getaway Car and think we won't notice? X marks the spot where we fell apart? Okay, hashtag reputation." Our next song on the list is Wildest Dreams. Taylor has drawn quite a few criticisms for biting Lana Del Rey's style in a few ways. Most notably, listeners cite how much the choruses for Swift's Wildest Dreams and Lana Del Rey's Without You sound alike, to the point that there are some pretty great mashups on YouTube. The Taylor Swift song also shares elements of the song Young and Beautiful by Miss Lana Del Rey. Are the superstars in a feud because of it? No, actually. Both Lana and Taylor seem to be quite friendly, most recently collaborating on a song called Snow on the Beach. Fans loved the song, but one thing was quite troubling. Lana was nowhere to be heard. Lana was apparently featured on the song, but fans couldn't hear her singing at all. Do their voices just blend perfectly, or did Taylor purposely remove Lana from the song as a way of getting back for all the Wildest Dreams drama? I guess we'll never know. Taylor has been accused for more than just stealing songs. Kanye West has accused her of stealing his merch designs. The Kanye West and Taylor Swift feud is well documented, but Yeezy stans couldn't help notice a couple aesthetic choices Taylor made in her Reputation era were reminiscent of the rapper's Life of Pablo style. First, they noticed the font used on her tour promotional materials was really similar to one on several pieces of merch Kanye was selling in his pop-up stores. Then she showed up wearing a Marc Jacobs embellished camouflage jacket that also gave people Kanye vibes. This just adds to all the Taylor versus Kanye drama, and if you don't remember how that feud began, let me quickly remind you. The moment that started it all, when Taylor Swift was awarded an award for Best Female Video for You Belong With Me in 2009, Kanye climbed the stairs at the award show to interrupt Taylor's acceptance speech with the now infamous proclamation, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." Shortly after, a stunned Swift told reporters, "I was standing on stage and I was really excited because I just won the award. Then I was really excited because Kanye West was on stage, and then I wasn't excited anymore after that." Along with Taylor's album Lover, she released a Lover poetry book. Well, another author tried to sue Taylor for insane similarities. The lawsuit claimed that Swift had borrowed a number of visual elements from the author, including pastel pinks and blues and an image of the author photographed in a downward pose. She also claimed a copyright to the book's overall format, including a recollection of past years memorialized in a combination of written and pictorial components and an interspersed photographs and writings. Just one problem. In their response in February, Swift's lawyers said those elements were nothing more than commonplace features of almost any book, meaning they fall well short of being unique to qualify for copyright protection. Beyonce also had some trouble with Taylor after her 2019 Billboard Music Awards performance. Taylor Swift opened up her live performance of the song Me with a drum line that had a lot of viewers at home wondering if they were about to see a surprise Beyonce performance, but instead, Taylor Swift came out and struck a pose. To say it was reminiscent of Beyonce's Homecoming is an understatement, and Twitter users were quick to share their opinions. How come nobody on Taylor Swift's team told her that completely and very poorly ripping off Beyonce was not a good look, one user wrote. Another user said, Taylor Swift really stole Beyonce's set like that? But get this, Taylor Swift's director for the Bad Blood music video is now accusing Beyonce of stealing ideas for her Formation music video. The director says they tried to say she's wearing a black crop top and Beyonce wore a black crop top, but they don't realize in 2015 in Bad Blood, Taylor Swift was wearing a black crop top already. I really do think, by the way, that Beyonce copied Bad Blood, he says. Now, this next story was highly publicized and has Taylor Swift as the victim of stealing. She's the victim this time. On June... I'm gonna do that one more time. Now, this next story was highly publicized and now has Taylor Swift as the victim. On June 30th, 2019, the American singer-songwriter came in dispute with her former record label, Big Machine Records, and its new owner, Scooter Braun, over the ownership of the masters of her first 6 studio albums. It was a highly publicized dispute, drawing widespread media coverage and led Swift to release the re-recorded albums Fearless, Red, Speak Now in 1989 from 2021 through 2023 to gain complete ownership of her music. Scooter Braun had become the owner of all of the masters, music videos, and artworks, including those of Swift's first 6 studio albums. In response, Swift stated that she had tried to purchase the masters, but Big Machine Records had offered unfavorable conditions and she knew the label would sell them to somebody else instead. Scooter Braun purchased Big Machine Records in 2019 and became the owner of the masters of Swift's first 6 albums, which he later sold to Shamrock Holdings in 2020. Consequently, Big Machine Records and Taylor Swift were embroiled in a series of disagreements leading to further friction. Swift alleged that the label blocked her from using her music for the 2019 American Music Awards and her documentary on Netflix, Miss Americana. Swift announced she would re-record the 6 albums and own the new masters herself. Swift continued to express her disapproval about Scooter Braun and again rejected another offer made by Shamrock Holdings. Next, one of Taylor's first cases of stealing goes all the way back to her 2008 hit You Belong With Me. Taylor was accused of stealing lyrics and concepts from a band called Saving Jane and their song titled Girl Next Door. Taylor most likely copied and reformatted the concept of Girl Next Door itself, giving it a more upbeat, energetic pop sound to counter the grittier pop rock vibe of the original song. The concepts of both music videos are also eerily similar, all the way down to the ongoing feud between the evil popular brunette and the geeky, down-to-earth girl with glasses. The most obvious lift, though, is the lyrical similarities from the chorus Girl Next Door and the pre-chorus of You Belong With Me. Here's the Girl Next Door lyrics. She's the prom queen, I'm in the marching band, she's a cheerleader, I'm sitting in the stands. Now, here's Taylor's lyrics. But she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, she's cheer captain, and I'm on the bleachers. Wow, Taylor. Really? Next, Taylor Swift was accused of stealing lyrics from singer-songwriter Matt Nathanson. Possibly Taylor Swift's most critically acclaimed song, All Too Well, has sadly also been accused of lyrical plagiarism, lifting a lyric more or less verbatim. And I forget about you long enough to forget why I need to. That is Matt Nathanson's lyric, and this is Taylor's lyric. And I forget about you long enough to forget why I needed to. Wow. Eerily similar. According to Spin magazine in 2012, Nathanson wrote in a since-deleted tweet, "She's definitely a fan, and now she's a thief. Last but not least, let's chat about the Olivia Rodrigo-Taylor Swift feud. Although this story doesn't necessarily involve stealing, Rodrigo is known to take heavy inspiration from Swift's writing techniques. Olivia and Taylor were very friendly after the release of her breakout hit Driver's License, but after Taylor Swift invited Sabrina Carpenter to open for her on the Eras tour, Olivia was apparently very offended. If you don't know, her song Driver's License is reportedly about Olivia's ex, Joshua Bassett, cheating on her with Sabrina Carpenter. Months after Taylor dropped the Sabrina Carpenter news, Olivia released the song Vampire with lyrics like, "I used to think I was smart, but you've made me look so naive." And fans are convinced the song is referring to ex-best friend Taylor Swift.
Last Thursday was the kickoff to the football season. The Chiefs were playing the Ravens, and since Travis Kelce was playing, his girlfriend Taylor Swift was in attendance. Now, Taylor has been to a lot of Chiefs games in the past, as she's always supporting Travis. But her attendance has made a lot of football fans hate her. Now, the NFL has used a lot of coverage on Taylor when she's at the game, and people are tired of it. Well, not me and the Swifties. Her appearance at the game was extremely anticipated, and she attended looking incredibly hot. Now again, during this game, cameras were on her, which made people angry. The official NFL account posted clips of Taylor at the game before it even started, and the comments were hating on her. There were a lot of comments that said, "Show me football," or "Can we not do this season?" But this year, the NFL isn't taking any of it. They've clapped back in the comments. The NFL's TikTok account posted a video of Taylor walking into the stadium before the game started, and their comment to some haters are going viral. One person said, "Can we get a football post?" and they responded, "Yeah, when the game starts," with a smiley face emoji. Then when someone else complained after the game started, the NFL account replied with "Damn, here," and posted a clip. Now, this made everyone laugh as they thought it was hilarious, but still, football fans didn't like this at all. Now, this weekend, Taylor and Travis were seen out and about a lot. They went on date nights, attended a wedding together, and on Sunday they went to the US Open for the men's final. Now, they were joined by Travis's teammate Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany. Now, Taylor and Travis were spotted singing along to music, taking pictures and videos, and intently watching the game. All eyes were on them once again. Now, the US Open Twitter account made a tweet in regard to Taylor, saying Taylor Swift returns to US Open after singing God Bless America in 2002. Life comes full circle for @TaylorSwift13, they added, which, hey, is pretty cool. But fans were shocked to see Travis and Taylor out and about last week, as it was revealed that their relationship was just a PR stunt and that they are due to break up at the end of the month. Now, the paperwork, which was leaked, which appears to have been created by Los Angeles-based firm Full Scope, revealed a strategy to make their split and says the date for an announcement is September 28th. Now, it also outlines a supposed plan to release an official statement at the end of this month, 3 days post-breakup, to allow the initial media frenzy to settle and ensure clarity. It adds that the announcement will be gracious, respectful, and stress mutual respect. Laying out what a statement would say, they write, example, Travis and Taylor have decided to part ways after careful consideration. They both value and respect each other's personal lives and appreciate your respect for privacy during this time. They're both committed to their careers and personal growth. They remain friends and wish each other the best. Now, the paperwork also states that the announcement would focus on Travis's personal growth by framing the breakup as a natural part of life. It also would highlight his commitment to his career and his ongoing achievements in the sports industry. They also plan to send it to major media outlets with a press release to ensure broad coverage. However, a spokesman for Full Scope insisted that these documents were entirely false and fabricated and were not created, issued, or authorized by this agency. Now, the representative also said they called in lawyers, though they are not expected to find the culprit. We have engaged our legal team to initiate proceedings against the individuals or entities responsible for the unlawful or injurious forgery of documents, they said. Now, some people were shocked by these documents being released and finding out that the couple's relationship was fake, but others saw it coming. Since they were first spotted together, fans have claimed that their relationship was fake. Now, Taylor has been the subject of discussion about fake relationships before, so this wasn't really a shock to people. The people didn't really have a problem with the documents being released. It was more of the fact that Travis's team got lawyers involved, which made the story even bigger than it needed to be. Now everyone now knows about this, but if they didn't make such a big deal out of it, it would have been swept under the rug with only other Swifties knowing about it, but now the whole world does. Now a statement has been released from sources close to Taylor, and despite the claims of a breakup, the singer and sportsman are rock solid, according to insiders, who told thedailymail.com that they are planning to mark their alleged split by planning something super special as a result of the fake contract. Taylor was unbothered and quite amused by this, a source said. She usually pays these things no mind at all, but this was some hilarious AI realness. It isn't even worth an actual reaction from her or her team. She and Travis had a good laugh over it, and his camp only got lawyers involved because it is his PR firm listed on the document. They continue by saying after learning that their breakup date is coming up soon, September 28th, they now need to plan something super special and fun on that day to commemorate. Coincidentally, September 28th is around the first NFL game of the season and is also National Beer Drinking Day, so that makes for a good date night for sure. Now, this is not the first time the couple has gotten some backlash, as people were absolutely shocked when the pair started dating. On September 24th, 2023, Taylor attended one of Travis's games. Now, the singer was spotted watching the game from Travis's suite alongside his mother Donna, where she was later captured cheering as Travis scored a touchdown. Now, following the game, the two were seen walking out together, and she then attended more games and they were spotted together a lot. There were rumors of their romance. Travis even denied it at one point, letting Taylor reveal the relationship when she felt more comfortable. Then on December 6, 2023, when Taylor was named Time's 2023 Person of the Year, she gave a candid interview about everything from her past feuds to her love life. Now during the interview, she revealed how her romance with Travis came to be. Taylor shared that her relationship with the NFL star all started when Travis very adorably put me on blast on his podcast, which I thought was metal as hell. We started hanging out right after that, so we actually had a significant amount of time that no one knew, which I'm grateful for because we got to know each other, Taylor continued. That means by the time Taylor was spotted at one of Kelsey's Kansas City Chiefs games for the first time in September, we were a couple, she said. I think some people think they saw our first date at that game. We would never be psychotic enough to hard launch a first date, she added. Now, the backlash surrounding the couple had gotten so bad last year that the NFL released a statement defending their coverage of Taylor. They said, "We frequently change our bios and profile imagery based on what's happening in and around our games, as well as culturally. The Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce news has been a pop culture moment we've leaned into in real time, as it's an intersection of sport and entertainment, and we've seen an incredible amount of positivity around the sport." But clearly, the fact that they even needed to put this statement out there in the first place shows you that they received a lot of pushback. Now, Taylor actually got booed by thousands of people at an NFL game. When the Giants and Seahawks were playing at the MetLife Stadium last year, a ton of NFL fans made it clear that they did not like her. While she was not physically present at the game, she still somehow managed to get booed when an ad for her Eras tour popped up on the scoreboard. Now, thousands of people in the crowd then started booing as an image of her was shown on the big screen, even though it was just an ad. While Taylor has been dating Travis, it's been well documented that she attends his games. "I don't know how they know what suite I'm in," she says. "There's a camera like half a mile away and you don't know where it is, and you have no idea when the camera is putting you in the broadcast, so I don't know if I'm being shown 17 times or more. She is sensitive to the attention that's put on her when she shows up. I'm just there to support Travis," she says. "I have no awareness of if I'm being shown too much and pissing off a few dads, brads, and chads." Now, is this really a dig though? I mean, she's just out there trying to enjoy her time and cheer on her boyfriend, and she's not the one making it about her. So some NFL fans might really hate her, but Taylor really doesn't care. She's just there to support Travis, and that's what's important. Recently, a contract has been leaked saying that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's relationship is fake, and that they're breaking up soon. Now, Taylor has finally spoken out about the situation. Earlier in the week, a document was leaked that said that Travis and Taylor's relationship was fake. It then discussed that they were going to break up and how they would go about the situation with important talking notes. Now, the paperwork was created by Los Angeles-based firm Full Scope, and it outlined a supposed plan to release an official statement at the end of this month, 3 days post-breakup, to allow the initial media frenzy to settle and ensure clarity. The date for the breakup was set for September 28th, which is just weeks away. Now, the document states that the announcement will be gracious, respectful, and stress mutual respect. Laying out what the statement would say, they write, example, Travis and Taylor have decided to part ways after careful consideration. They both value each other's personal lives and appreciate your respect for privacy during this time. They're both committed to their careers and personal growth. They remain friends and wish each other the best. Now, the paperwork also states that the announcement would focus on Travis's personal growth by framing the breakup as a natural part of life. It will also highlight his commitment to his career and his ongoing achievements in the sports industry. They also plan to send it to major media outlets with a press release to ensure broad coverage. Now, some people were shocked by these documents being released and finding out the couple's relationship was fake, but others saw it coming. Since the pair were first spotted together, fans have claimed that the relationship was fake. Now, Taylor has been the subject of discussion about fake relationships before, so this wasn't a shock to a lot of people. People really don't have a problem with the documents being released. It was more the fact that Travis's team got lawyers involved, which made the story even bigger than it needed to be. Everyone now knows about this, but if they didn't make such a big deal out of it, it would have been swept under the rug with only other Swifties knowing about it. But now, the whole world does. Now, there are a group of Taylor Swift fans who call themselves gaylers, who believe that Taylor is a lesbian and that she dates famous men to cover up her sexuality. Now, Taylor has alluded to this before, and fans are convinced that she's been leaving a lot of hints about this and that she's had many failed coming outs. So the fact that her relationship with Travis is supposedly fake did not come as a shock to them. One fan wrote, "Does anyone really believe she actually dated Jake Gyllenhaal, Harry Styles, Calvin Harris, John Mayer, the Kennedy kid, and I can't remember who else? She dated the last guy who was private because she was trying to lay low after Kanye. Apparently he also got songwriting credits. These are arrangements. I knew she would date an athlete next because there are no more actors left in her age range. The bracelet thing was a bat signal. I think her mistake was not going for a Josh Allen or Joe Burrow type. It would have been more believable than Travis, but they're not as thrust for fame. I would say no chemistry with Travis too, but she lacks chemistry with all the guys she dates." Now, another fan added, "So true, all the people you have mentioned are well known and successful in one way or another. Calvin and Harry especially are now mega wealth." Now, it appears that a lot of fans aren't too shocked about this revelation of the relationship being fake. Now, this isn't the first time Taylor has been accused of being in a PR relationship. It's been said that Taylor and Tom Hiddleston were in a PR relationship to avert attention away from her breakup with Calvin Harris back in 2016. Now, they dated briefly for around 3 months before calling it quits in September 2016. But Calvin Harris has actually alluded to being in a relationship with Taylor contractually, not because they were in love. Now, there are theories all over the internet saying that none of her male relationships were real, and people are going back and forth on proof. Not to mention, her being in a PR relationship with someone as great as Travis Kelce would be a smart move. Now, after Taylor broke up with her boyfriend Joe Alwyn of 6 years, she then began to date the 1975's lead singer Matty Healy. Her relationship with him came under a lot of scrutiny because Matty doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to his relationships, his fans, or really his personality. A lot of Swifties were actually upset that they were dating and wrote an open letter to Taylor telling her to break up with him. Weird, I know, but she got a lot of pushback from being with him. So dating Travis afterwards makes her look good and makes us forget about the mess her summer romance was with Matty. Now, the documents title "A Comprehensive Media Plan for Travis Kelce's Relations Following Breakup with Taylor Swift" are entirely false and fabricated, a representative for Full Scope, the company that runs PR for Kelce, tells People. These documents are entirely false and fabricated and were not created, issued, or authorized by this agency, the company said. But in 2019, on an Australian podcast called The Quickie, Travis's PR manager said fake romances are generally put together if a celebrity has a film or new project to promote or to distract from bad publicity. He admitted to staging at least 2 relationships during his career, having used them as a tool to distract people from negative headlines. While he didn't name names, the Hollywood Insider said it's not uncommon for stars to sign a love contract, which requires them to date for at least a year. Now, he explained that fake relationships were once used to cover up the fact that a popular actor was gay, but now it's all about generating buzz. And well, over the past year, there's been so much buzz around the couple. Taylor has gained more popularity with the male audience, and most people think what she's gotten in return is to hide her sexuality. Travis, on the other hand, has gained a lot of things during this relationship. Travis has grown in popularity as he has starred in many commercials and has gotten a lot of new jobs. Travis is hosting a brand new TV show, is starring in a new Ryan Murphy project, and also received a $1 million contract with Amazon for his podcast New Heights, which he co-hosts with his brother Jason Kelsey. Not to mention, the NFL has gotten something out of it too. When Taylor attends a game, more women have been watching the sport, and it's gotten their viewership up. Now, the NFL has actually played into this, using Taylor for promotional services. Now, a statement has been released from sources close to Taylor. Despite the claims of a breakup, the singer and sportsman are rock solid, according to insiders, who told DailyMail.com that they are planning to mark their alleged split by planning something super special as a result of the fake contract. Taylor was unbothered and quite amused by this, the source said. She usually pays these things no mind at all, but this was some hilarious AI realness. It isn't even worth an actual reaction from her or her team. She and Travis had a good laugh over it, and his camp only got lawyers involved because it is his PR firm listed on the document. They continued by saying after learning that their breakup date is coming up soon, September 28th, they now need to plan something super special and fun on that day to commemorate. Coincidentally, September 28th is around the first NFL game of the season, and it's also National Beer Drinking Day, so that makes a good date night for sure, they said. Now, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens on the 28th of September. Until Taylor or Travis directly addresses this, we'll just have to assume that everything is okay. But if they do break up, that means all this is fake, which leads to even more questions.
Courtney Love is clearly not a Swiftie. The whole singer has never been known for mincing her words, but this time it was Taylor Swift who was in her crosshairs. In a recent interview with The Standard, Courtney Love stated that Taylor Swift was not important and uninteresting as an artist. Now, that's a pretty remarkable thing to say, considering that you can't go anywhere these days without seeing Taylor Swift's image in some capacity. Her global outreach is currently unmatched, but that just doesn't seem to be cutting it for Love. The whole singer also went on to say that she was basically just the Madonna of this generation and accused Taylor of being a safe space for girls. Perhaps Courtney Love was hoping that the biggest pop artist would have a more unique personality, but everything that Swift is doing at the present time seems to be right, so why on earth would she change it? And on the topic of being unimportant, well, that's just plain false. There is clearly no one in the music industry who is currently more important than Taylor Swift. Everything she touches pretty much turns to gold, and she's able to sell out the biggest arenas in the world in a matter of seconds. On top of that, she also brought in a ton of new fans and revenue for the NFL by simply dating Travis Kelsey of the Kansas City Chiefs. Clearly she is very important, but that's just not how Courtney Love seems to view things. Now, it's definitely not too surprising to hear Courtney Love compared Taylor Swift with Madonna, but it's not for the reasons you might imagine. Yes, they were both the clear frontrunners in pop music for their respective generations, but Courtney Love has a pretty rough history with Madonna, who she also called out in this crazy interview. Courtney Love simply stated that she doesn't like Madonna and Madonna doesn't like her. Now, this likely traces all the way back to 1995, when the pair had a disastrous encounter at the MTV Video Music Awards. Madonna was in the middle of an interview with Kurt Loder when a wild Courtney Love crashed the show and created one of the most bizarre interviews that we've ever seen. Love was acting completely erratic and was asking some very sensitive questions to Madonna, which the latter was clearly not interested in answering. So it's pretty easy to see why these two still don't see eye to eye after so many years. Now, maybe that was just bringing back some bad memories for Courtney, but it's a bit of a mystery why she's now comparing her old nemesis to Taylor Swift. Aside from their mainstream popularity, it's pretty tough to say if they really have much in common at all. Maybe Courtney was just in a terrible mood when she gave this interview because Taylor and Madonna were not the only ones who were catching heat from Love. After she was finished dissing Taylor Swift and Madonna, she then moved on to Beyonce to give her thoughts on the singer's new album, Cowboy Carter. Courtney didn't really have any good thing to say about anyone in this interview, so it's not too surprising to hear that she didn't like the new album. She just didn't seem to care for Beyonce's attempt at a country record, but she did at least have one good comment about the singer. singer. Courtney stated that she appreciated the fact that Beyonce was stepping into a space that is usually reserved for white artists and respected the album's symbolism in a sense. But musically, however, Courtney just really didn't like Beyonce's break into the country space. We can't imagine that Beyonce will be paying much attention to these comments, and it would honestly be surprising if she even gave a response at all. Like every other album Beyonce has ever released, Cowboy Carter is currently trending near the top of the charts. And outside of Courtney Love, the masses really seem to be enjoying her step into a brand new genre. And just to wrap up this bizarre interview, Courtney Love also decided to take a shot at Lana Del Rey. She claimed the singer used to be great, but she has now seemingly lost her touch. After her 2023 cover of John Denver's famous song Take Me Home Country Road, Courtney Love now claims that the singer should take about 7 years off. Del Rey literally just finished performing at Coachella, so it's pretty obvious that she doesn't need to take any time off and her musical talent is still very much alive. But even though she probably won't be listening to any Lana Del Rey music in the near future, Courtney went on to clarify her comments about all the performers she roasted in this interview. While she did say that it was great to see so many female performers succeeding in the music industry, she believes that they are all becoming clones of one another. So this comes just 1 month after Courtney Love ripped into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for not inducting enough female and black artists into its ranks. She claimed that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony is just an annual reminder of just how extraordinary a woman has to be to make it into the old boys club. She stated that the voting process needs to be overhauled and the nominating committee is completely broken. Now, this year's list of inductees include the likes of Missy Elliott and Cyndi Lauper, amongst other female artists, but that was overshadowed by a long list of male inductees. Courtney is clearly very passionate about giving a strong platform for female performers, but it's also strange that she would go after some of the top female musicians of this generation. The likes of Taylor Swift and Beyonce seem like absolute guarantees to be inducted into the prestigious Music Hall of Fame at some point down the road, so her new comments are definitely a bit misleading. Maybe she does have their best interest at heart in this scenario, but it's highly likely that some people will take her comments the exact opposite way. With all of that in mind though, we can't forget that Courtney Love has been outspoken for pretty much her entire life and career. She also just recently released an 8-part series on BBC Radio 6 Music entitled Courtney Loves Women. The series goes into detail about the special women in Love's life who helped shape her life and career over the years, and she is not afraid to go into detail on some of these stories. She's also stated that she wants the series to redeem some of the women who have been treated so badly by the recording industry over the years. One of the groups she recognized was the all-girl band The Runaways, who were tremendously successful during the 1970s. Love stated that this gave her the idea that Hollywood is run by girls in bands, or at least by girls who wanted to sleep with guys in bands. She then went on to state that she was totally wrong, and Hollywood is exactly like the music industry, which was dominated by men. She did not hold back with her opinions on this topic, and it is very clear that she still wants to make a good change to benefit women in the industry. Now, whether or not Taylor Swift or anyone else will respond to these comments is a bit of a mystery. There's a chance that Swift may never even pay attention to these comments, but she's never been one to shy away from expressing her feelings as well. And ironically, this is something that Courtney Love and Taylor Swift have in common, even if they don't want to admit it. We all know that any man who has done Taylor Swift wrong has been publicly blasted in a song over the years, so who's to say that Taylor wouldn't throw Courtney Love's name into a new track? She might not like what Courtney had to say about her importance in the music industry, but she might be interested in her drive for change. Taylor is another big name performer who has been advocating for female musicians over the years, so perhaps her and Courtney could find a common ground in this sense. Keeping that in mind though, it's still a bit of a strange mystery that Courtney Love would want to tear down a woman who is clearly a role model for many young women around the world. Perhaps she feels that Taylor could do more for her Swifties, but it seems like there is definitely two sides to this very strange coin. No matter how you see this scenario, it seems pretty clear that Courtney Love wants to see change in the industry. She is not afraid to say exactly what she thinks about anyone, even if her comments don't sit well with many people around the world. And in this case, it seems like she believes that Taylor Swift, Madonna, Beyonce, and Lana Del Rey all have one thing in common. They are all apparently cliches who should just come up with something more interesting. But considering all the success that they have all enjoyed, maybe they'd be better off just ignoring Love's comments altogether. Courtney has no problem voicing her opinion about major performers in the industry, but it'll be interesting to hear if she has any solutions for them. It's quite obvious that she would like to see big names like Taylor Swift make a change, but it's a bit of a mystery how they would do that. Courtney's been on record saying that some of her favorite female artists include Debbie Harry, Patti Smith, Nina Simone, and PJ PJ Harvey. Perhaps you would rather see the big names of today perform like her favorites, but that would go against her point of everyone being a copy of one another. Needless to say though, a roundtable discussion between Courtney Love and all the women she named in this interview with The Standard would definitely be must-see TV. That's all we have for now, but we'll definitely have to keep an eye on some of the big names that were called out in this interview. It'll be really interesting to see if any of them take the time to address Courtney Love's comments, or if they just dismiss them as white noise. Facing criticism is nothing new for a big name performer in the entertainment industry, but how they respond to it is what really makes the difference. Let's see who, if any, will take the first step and respond to Courtney Love's wild interview.
Celeb scoundrel number 10, our girl Katy Perry. How the drama ball starts rolling is during a 2014 Rolling Stone interview where Taylor, ever the vague insinuator, for some reason chose to talk about a nameless celebrity who, for years, I was never sure if we were friends or not, Taylor said. She would come up to me at award shows and say something and walk away, and I would think, are we friends? Or did she just give me the harshest insult of my life? Then she did something so horrible. I was like, oh, we are just straight up enemies. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She hired a bunch of people out from under me. When you give out that much information, you might as well have the guts to drop the name as well, because it took essentially zero time for folks to figure out she was talking about Katy. It's 3 years into their beef when Perry approaches this subject, with James Corden in her May interview stating that the employees Swift was referring to were dancers that Katy had already known, used, and had close friendships with. And they even had it stipulated in their contracts they could leave Swift's tour to hit the road with Perry when the time came. And when the dancers approached Swift's management in regards to doing exactly that, Perry said they were fired. She claimed Swift also refused to discuss the matter with her. This feud went on to pack some serious punches. They fought on Twitter, where Katy called her a Regina George in sheep's clothing, and then Taylor released Bad Blood, which was almost definitely about Katy apparently. Then we see Swift put her entire catalog on streaming services on the day that Perry releases her Witness album. And then Swift dropped Look What You Made Me Do the same day as Perry's Swish Swish video premiered. So the feud went unresolved for years until 2018, when Katy sent Taylor a literal olive branch as a peace offering on the opening night of her Reputation tour. The following year, Katy appeared in Taylor's star-studded music video, You Need to Calm Down. And all was well in the world of Taylor and Katy. Number 9 is Diplo. Now famous for trudging through miles of mud with Chris Rock to get out of Burning Man, Diplo's made headlines for plenty of reasons in his career, usually unsavory ones, if I'm being honest, and who'd have thunk it. But when he was boinking Katy Perry back in 2014 in the midst of these two feuding, because I guess there's no other professionally trained dancers out there people can hire, Diplo decided to be a dipstick and say some pretty uncool things. Namely, one tweet where he straight up said someone should make a Kickstarter to get Taylor Swift a booty. Yeesh, dude, that's a tad too far. And let me say, it wasn't even cancel culture era yet, and folks came for Diplo's throat. While Taylor never responded, everyone's favorite soulful sun girl Lorde swept in with the iconic retort, should we do something about your tiny while we're at it? Earning over 20,000 retweets. When asked in 2019, however, Diplo did comment that making that tweet was one of the worst decisions of his career. A fair remark, seeing as it's not only accurate, but he was in a relationship at the time that made him biased towards the situation and say something stupid he shouldn't. Celebrity insult or overreaction number 8 is Tina and Amy, aka Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. That's not that I should have to tell you that. So, famous respectively for their dicey and quirky comedy, these two women are a notorious pair who flourish when working together. Naturally, that's why they're paired to host the 2013 Golden Globes, where the two women chose to poke fun at Taylor's serial dating habits while on stage. Now, to give some context to the situation, 2013 was a year where this was a hot button topic, with everybody and their mother chirping in on Taylor's dating life, making it become a conversation more than about Taylor Swift herself, and rather about a young woman experiencing dating culture differently than men in the society we live in. Naturally, that being the case, like anything hip in the news, it made its way into the Globes' speech, where Amy and Tina made some throwaway jokes about avoiding Michael J. Fox's son and using some time to learn about herself. To the surprise of many people, including Tina and Amy, Taylor actually felt insulted. She went so far as to tell Vanity Fair that there's a special place in hell for women who don't help other women. Whoa, okay. I'm not gonna lie again, not really up to date with celebrities, but everything I read about this situation, That's a pretty far jump in reaction to the commentary made. But Faye was taken aback by Swift taking the comedy bit so seriously, and she told Entertainment Tonight, "I did not see that one coming. It was a joke, and it was a lighthearted joke, and it's a shame she didn't take it in the crazy aunt spirit way in which it was intended." Amy, when asked, told The Hollywood Reporter, "I feel bad if she was upset. I am a feminist. She is a young and talented girl. That being said, I do agree I'm going to hell, but for other reasons, mostly boring tax stuff." Swift's jump earned her some side-eye teasing from the ladies, notably at the 2014 Golden Globes when Faye told Ford there's a special place in hell for her, in December 2015 during a Saturday Night Live sketch. Next up on the Taylor insult train is number 7. It's a guy named Ed Drost. So he's the frontman of Grizzly Bear. He's friends with another band called Haim. Taylor Swift is friends with the dudes from Haim. Alright, so what he did wrong is he was super apathetic towards her in 2012. I know, and that came from a tweet that said, "Super relieved Taylor Swift is up for another award, was worried she didn't have enough, #few." Remember when folks were putting hashtags like that in sentences? Anyways, in 2015 he goes on a machismo-riddled rage fest on social media, which sounds a little like this. "I finally feel comfortable expressing my distaste for the rudest, fakest person I've ever met, #liberating, I'm done dragging, but I'm glad people recognize this skunk finally, #trust." I don't understand the last sentence, but he did post a photo of an article describing Swift's alleged hyper-control of her squad with said social media post. Drost then followed that by saying, "Obsessed that people are catching on. I think this article really sums up how people who are taken really feel. She's being given a free pass for too long, plus first-hand experience, I have a whole other story to tell. Still feels unsafe though, she frightens me genuinely." Well, we never heard Drost's story because too many of Taylor's squad went on to attack the dude like Gigi Hadid and Martha Hunt, and he deleted his Twitter account. The end. For 6, it's Miley Cyrus. Imagine my surprise learning these two aren't friends because I felt like they would be friends. But from what I read today, this was only the case in the good old Hannah Montana days when Taylor was like the Waverly-voiced country folk singer and Miley was the wig-wearing spunkster. But it seems there was no vendetta, simply that the women grew apart as their careers turned them from kids to adults. However, Miley opens her mouth and doesn't mince a word when it comes to her dislike nowadays, especially in reference to the girl power peddling of Taylor. "I'm not trying to be in the squad," Cyrus told the New York Times when asked in 2015, referencing Taylor's infamous group of girlfriends. "None of my friends are famous, and not because of any other reason than I just like real people who are living real lives because I'm inspired by them." The same month, Cyrus went on to vent to Marie Claire about Swift's Bad Blood video. "I don't get the violence revenge thing. That's supposed to be a good example, and I'm a bad role model." This commentary, while insulting to Taylor, absolutely should be acknowledged with context. Miley, unlike Taylor, being a Disney star, had critical and harsh expectations she needed to follow. So not only in the performance, but in her appearance, and she went through a lot of this alone. So if she wore a t-shirt wrong, she'd be smeared in the media, but Taylor can pop out with a girl squad, and all of them fit unrealistic body standards and aesthetics that Miley was held to, and they received no critique. This would 100% inspire some bitterness, and it still seems to exist today. Number 5 is Calvin Harris. So the pair collaborated on Harris's projected song, "This Is What You Came For," to create the world's most evilly ingrained earworm. Because they reportedly didn't want to draw attention to their relationship through music, Swift used a pseudonym, Nils Schulberg, in the song's credits. Harris stuck to their mutual plan, and even when the radio personality Ryan Seacrest asked him if he'd ever worked with his then-girlfriend, Calvin stated, "You know, we haven't spoke about a collaboration, I can't really see it happening though." Immediately after the split, butthurt Calvin drops the song, and Taylor's team wastes no time going, actually Taylor helped make this." And to quote TMZ report, Swift squad was sick of Calvin trashing Taylor and feel he should be thanking her for quietly giving him a smash hit. Anyway, who's to say? But on the topic of saying stuff, Calvin's response to the immediate attack on him was, "I figured if you're happy in your new relationship, you should focus on that instead of trying to tear down your ex-boyfriend for something to do." Hurtful to me at this point that she and her team would go so far out of their way to try and make me look bad at this stage. But I know you're off tour and you need someone new to try and bury like Katie, etc, but I'm not that guy, sorry, I won't allow it. Damn, Calvin popped off. I'm kind of impressed the guy who makes music could actually spit bars. For number 4, we're gonna do Demi Lovato. So these two had a bestie in common in their late teen years, and that's Selena Gomez. And like two girls who are both best friends with a third, but not with each other, there just had to be drama. So first up we got Exhibit A, the infamous 2010 interview video of her quipping, "Ask Taylor," when when asked about their mutual BFF, Selena. Lovato's taste for Swift apparently intensified during the 1989 era tour, when Swift began preaching about feminism and squad goals. Context again, people. Disney star. She used to be a Disney star. I think in certain situations, certain people could be doing more if they're going to claim feminism as part of their brand, Lovato told Glamour in 2016. To be honest, and this is probably going to get me in trouble, I don't see anybody in any sort of squad that has a normal body. It's kind of this false image of what people should look like and what they should be like, and it's not real. I think having a song in a video about tearing Katy Perry down, that's not women's empowerment. 3 is Nicki Minaj, who back in 2015, Nicki tweeted her frustration that Anaconda wasn't nominated for Video of the Year at the VMAs by saying, if your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Vid of the Year. And she ain't wrong, but Taylor took a leap of faith that it was about her instead of, I don't know, asking, and fires back publicly. I've done nothing but love and support you. It's unlike you to pit women against each other. Maybe one of the men took your slots. Then she invited the rapper to take the stage with her, saying Nicki's invited to any stage I'm ever on. It felt holier than thou. Nicki hit back saying she definitely wasn't referring to Taylor with those tweets, and partially blamed the media for immediately assuming she was talking about Taylor, and now the slew of other videos nominated over hers featuring slim women. Taylor then apologized to Nicki, and then at the show, Taylor joined Nicki on stage to sing The Night Is Still Young and a few lines from Bad Blood, so it's fine. Number 2, it's Camilla Belle. So once Joe Jonas broke up with Taylor, he started dating Camilla Belle. This led Taylor to write the song Better Than Revenge about the actress, which if you listen to it, even when it came out, let alone now, it's gross and shamey. So Camilla never publicly responded to this song, which is fair seeing as the lyric was, she's not a saint and she's not what you think. She's an actress. She's better known for the things that she does on the mattress. Oh, yeah. If some 18-year-old's saying that about me, I'd probably ignore it too. The only time Camilla made a peep, she made it during the Nicki versus Taylor Twitter smackdown, finding it ironic to parade the pit against women against other women argument about as one unmeasurably capitalizes on the takedown of a woman. Camilla Belle replied to this, couldn't have said it better myself. Whoo! Now that's tough, Taylor, and it seemingly did the trick, because Taylor Swift, now a grown woman, used her re-recording as an opportunity to right some wrongs, changing the lyrics to be, he was a moth to flame, she was holding the matches. To quote her in an interview as to why she made the change, in case it wasn't blindingly obvious, that's the age you are when you think someone can actually take your boyfriend. Then you grow up and realize no one can take someone from you if they don't want to leave. Number 1, Kanye. Everyone's tired of hearing of it, and Kanye by now. But you can't talk Taylor without talking about Kanye, and not because he tried to claim he made her career. Kanye quite literally climbs on stage, takes the mic, starts talking crap, and saying she didn't deserve the award. It was 2009, Taylor's young as hell, and this is a Hollywood star who's berating her, so she just kind of awkwardly stands there holding the award until others begin to intervene. The pair makes amends a few years later. He sends her some flowers, some shoes. All seems well, but then the other Yeezy dropped, as did the track Famous. In the music video, he, for some reason, commissioned a nude wax figure of her and writes a lyric about banging her and another one about her being the B word. Taylor complained about it, and rightfully effing so, because that's insane behavior. And then along comes Kim Kardashian. Taylor said she hadn't given permission for Kanye to use her name like that, and Kim, who was then married to Kanye, uploaded a video to Snap that implied Taylor did in fact give consent. Taylor swaps her statement to saying she's reluctantly fine with the intercourse lyric if this is the way things had to be. Anyway, in 2020, the full version of Kim's video was released, which proves she did in fact alter the video before uploading it. Anyways, Taylor did still raise complaints about being called a B-word since she never agreed to that, and that's one even Kim can't argue. A few songs on Taylor's 2017 Reputation are speculated to be about Kim and Kanye as a result, including This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things.
First off, we have Shake It Off, and it involved a lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed by Sean Hall and Nathan Butler, the songwriters behind Playas Gonna Play, a 2000 song by the R&B group 3LW that contains the lines, Playas they gonna play, and haters they gonna hate. They accused Swift of using those lines without permission or credit on Shake It Off, which was released in 2014 and became one of Swift's defining hits, notching 4 weeks at #1 on the Billboard singles chart. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed, and Taylor stated, I have never heard the song Playas Gonna Play and have have never heard of that song or the group 3LW, she said in the court filing. Getaway Car is another song that people are accusing Swift of stealing, and it involves another famous celebrity, Hilary Duff. Hilary, known for her hit Disney Channel show Lizzie McGuire, also had a successful music career after her departure from Disney Channel, and she has been going viral on the internet lately for her iconic performances on talk shows, but that's besides the point. Hilary put out a single called Breathe In, Breathe Out, and the song includes lyrics such as X marks the spot where we fall in love. Sound familiar? Taylor Swift's Getaway Car has almost identical lyrics. X marks the spot where we fell apart. Fans were quick to notice the similarities and express their disappointment with the singer, one user saying on Twitter, "Don't get me wrong, I love Taylor, but the second I heard that, I immediately thought of Hilary. Honestly, a bit disappointed." Another user wrote, "Really, Taylor? You're gonna rip off Hilary Duff's Breathe In, Breathe Out on Getaway Car and think we won't notice? X marks the spot where we fell apart? Okay, hashtag reputation." Our next song on the list is Wildest Dreams. Taylor has drawn quite a few criticisms for biting Lana Del Rey's style in a few ways. Most notably, listeners cite how much the choruses for Swift's Wildest Dreams and Lana Del Rey's Without You sound alike, to the point that there are some pretty great mashups on YouTube. The Taylor Swift song also shares elements of the song Young and Beautiful by Miss Lana Del Rey. Are the superstars in a feud because of it? No, actually. Both Lana and Taylor seem to be quite friendly, most recently collaborating on a song called Snow on the Beach. Fans loved the song, but one thing was quite troubling. Lana was nowhere to be heard. Lana was apparently featured on the song, but fans couldn't hear her singing at all. Do their voices just blend perfectly, or did Taylor purposely remove Lana from the song as a way of getting back for all the Wildest Dreams drama? I guess we'll never know.